everybody, Jason Burmis here, and the fervor surrounding the Russian propaganda that is out there almost 4 years later has felt the burn. You see, the big headline today is that Bernie's campaign has now been briefed by intelligence officials that the Ruskies are full board behind Bernie 2020. There's so much to talk about here because obviously I feel like this is more and more and more and more fear-mongering regarding Russia. Now, yeah, I've got the hammer and sickle behind me. That's because most people don't even know what the Russian flag looks like anymore. You know that? Do you realize that? Most people think that's the Russian flag behind me. They don't understand that the flag is actually red, white, and blue. Not allowed to say those things. So there's a lot of questions we can ask here, right? My first question is, now that Trump has signed off on this national counterintelligence document, which makes leaktivists, hacktivists, and public disclosure organizations basically the same thing as terrorists. And he says here, and we're going to read it, does this mean that, I don't know, we could get a FISA warrant for Bernie's campaign? Russia remains a significant intelligence threat to the United States' interests, employing aggressive acts to instigate and exacerbate tensions and instability in the United States. Bum, bum, bum. Including interfering with the security of our elections. First of all, I want to say this. Already the media is trying to spin that very thing. Russia doesn't want Bernie Sanders. It wants chaos. And let's not forget that Hillary Clinton tried to use this same smear against Tulsi Gabbard, who in turn is suing her but can't serve her. Flick off. Thank you so much for that great super chat sticker right there. So she hasn't been able to serve Hillary, but in the same breath, she was talking about how the Russians really liked Bernie, too. They had their eyes on Bernie Sanders. It's weird that Hillary would never be part of a Bernie Sanders ticket. Not endorsing Bernie, just stating the facts. In fact, if you wanted the truth, yes, Bernie did spend some time in the Soviet Union. Yes, Bernie, at least outwardly, seems to be somewhat anti-war and has voted anti-war in the past. Not all the time. He's no Dennis Kucinich, right? He's not perfect, but I would assume that Russia, after having 4 years of Trump, or almost 4 years of Trump, realize he's not much of a friend in the Middle East. He's not. You know, we can have all this propaganda and lies all day, but when we get down to Assange, WikiLeaks, what did Seymour Hersh have to say about it? He had to say it was a Brennan operation. So when I go to this 21stCenturyWire.com article by Patrick Henningsen, does a great job, and I look at this tweet from yesterday from John Brennan, intelligence scoundrel, scumbag, deep state aficionado, where he states, we are now in a full-blown national security crisis. No, we've been in a full-blown national security crisis. We have, ever since we created the national security state. Ever since Eisenhower was like, hey man, this military-industrial complex, it even has a spiritual aspect to it, and it's totally going to fuck us up unless we relegate its power. We never did. We never did. By trying to prevent the flow of intelligence to Congress, Trump is abetting a Russian covert operation to keep him in office for Moscow's interests, not America's. So when 24 hours later, the Washington Post makes this claim, it's probably not a claim. I'll bet you that intelligence officials have discussed this with Bernie Sanders. 100%. Remember, all of the intelligence officials told us it was Russia, 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 Russia. That's why when we hit Russia here, we get 1,611 hits. Well, it says Russia, right? I mean, they spent tens of millions of dollars. They were able to prove it, right? Oh, no, they weren't. And because Russia is in the Mueller report this many times, even though they had to make a second half of it about obstruction of justice, the whole thing was basically a fiasco to try to get Trump in a perjury trap. They admittedly were spying on his campaign because of Russia, Russia, Russia. And now, even according to Trump's own words now, think about it. He's set it up, and just so people understand, he really did sign this. That's his signature right behind me. Where they could now get a FISA warrant for the Bernie campaign. Now, I'm not naive enough to think that they haven't already infiltrated the Bernie campaign, and they're doing everything they can to control it from the inside. But you can already see that the establishment, wants somebody like Bootlicker, wants somebody like Bloomberg, wants somebody who's going to talk about the intelligence community as if they're the best thing since sliced bread, and they are of the rankings of Jesus Christmas and beyond reproach. That is not the case. They are professional liars, disinformation artists, spinsters. That's what they are. That's what they are. So when we type Seth Rich into here, okay, you only get that 3 times. And despite all the publicly available evidence out there pointing to these DNC leaks being Seth Rich, it's Russia, 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 Russia. Assange is Russia, 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 Russia. Bernie is Russia, 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 Russia. Tulsi is Russia, 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 Russia. And most people are so far gone and so brainwashed, they think this is reality. They think that this is reality. And the other thing is that now you get all these mainstream left-wing pundits, many of which are Operation Mockingbird talking point pushers. That's what they are. Buying into this, tweeting it out, making it a national story that the Ruskies want Bernie. The Ruskies. I've said this from the beginning, and you can argue with me if you want. If the establishment wanted Bernie, they could have had Bernie in 2016. If Bernie wanted Bernie in 2016, he could have spoke up and shouted from the rooftops that the DNC stole the nomination for him for Hillary Clinton. He didn't have the spine to do it. It's one of the reasons, one of the many reasons, I'm not a Bernie Sanders supporter. If you have to have others speak out for you, how in the world are you going to run the country as the president? At the same time, we have to point out this latest piece of propaganda, again, that shows you that the John Brennans of the world still have power. The James Clappers of the world still have power. The James Mattises of the world still have power. The John Boltons of the world and their spin machines still have power. Why? Because they're part of the war machine, baby. Left, right, and center. It does not matter. It does not matter. They are part of that permanent state that I have talked about for over a decade that are minions of the true predator class out there. So guys, please thumbs this video up. Subscribe if you are new to the channel. We cover a lot here, and we're waiting on that Harvey Weinstein verdict, okay? They had their day 4 of deliberations. It was in deadlock at the end of the day. He's fully going to get off. He's fully going to get off. And we've been saying that now for almost a year. In fact, I'd say over a year I've been saying it. And now it's coming to fruition. So that's something we're going to keep on. Monday, I'm going to be in D.C., thanks to you guys, with the Action for Assange crew. Obviously, I've raised some money through a GoFundMe. I have a monthly GoFundMe of about $5,000. We've only hit about $2,000 each month. I had someone like in the thing being like, you can go to South America or to Taiwan for $2,000. This is how I live. Okay, just so everybody's very, very well aware, the car rental alone was $500 before I put gas in it. Okay, that's if everything goes right and I get it back, blah, 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 blah. So then probably a couple $100 in gas. There's $700 out of that GoFundMe. I haven't gotten lodging yet. I haven't eaten yet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hire somebody to come with me. I'm just trying to do this thing and keep my promises. So Sunday night, Monday morning, I'm going to head out there. Hopefully I'll be able to stay till Wednesday, but really we have to raise a little bit more money for me to stay beyond Monday night or Tuesday just to make it happen. Someone's asking how the tooth is. 3 weeks later, it's actually in a few hours, it'll be 3 weeks ago that I got punched in the face by crack dealers. It's staying. It's not loose anymore. It feels good. Thank God I didn't have to replace my tooth because I really didn't want to have a $2,000 to $4,000 replacement. Guys, I also have this thing called a Rockfin. I make some things free, but I do at least 5 premium videos and throwback videos and stuff here. If you want to support me, it's $9.99 a month, but you can sign up for free. Go follow me. And now you can watch my in-depth, Was It Fixed, premium content, only Rockfin video for free. That's another cool thing. You know, I can have these things under a paywall for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then eventually just let it out there. I am also putting a lot of my stuff from YouTube on here. So rockfin.com/Jason Burmis. Endorse me and you get everybody's content. Thumbs this video up, subscribe. Hey, guys, we might hit, what is it, 39.5 subscribers? I mean, we ducked down below that. We've lost subscribers all month. We're trying to take it to the top. We're trying to get to 40K, and I know you're going to help me, Burmis Brigade, and I love you for it. I am a documentary filmmaker. Loose Change Final Cut, Fabled Enemies, Invisible Empire, A New World Order Defined, and Shade the Motion Picture are free right here, right now. What are you waiting for? Go check them out in the playlist section. I absolutely love you guys, and I will see you all on the flip side.